Guys, today, energetically, we have some more interesting astrology going on. We have Mercury, our lovely messenger planet, who recently changed signs and moved into Sagittarius, shifting the way that our mind is working for the next few weeks. Today, coming into a conjunction, an exact conjunction with the South Node. This is probably going to be bringing up a lot of things from the past. We may be reawakening some old memories, feeling a bit of nostalgia today as we simultaneously realize what we are ready to move on from, what we're really ready to graduate from, and what we need to let go of at this point in time in order to embrace the new direction that our future is pulling us. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Thursday, November 25th, 2021. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody watching this today. I hope you all have a beautiful celebration with family and friends. And this is your astrological outlook for today, Thanksgiving Day energetics. I'm also going to be doing the energetics for Friday in my report today because, full disclosure, I am recording this video on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and I'm going to take tomorrow, Thanksgiving Day, off from shooting my video for obvious reasons. And then I will do my best to get a video out on Friday night or Saturday morning for Saturday and Sunday because we do have some big weekend energetics coming in as well. But I just wanted to do a quick Thanksgiving Day video today for everybody, talking about the energetics that are going on, because we do have, some more big aspects hitting today. I've been sort of talking about this all week. We are, this energy is ongoing. This South Node energy, this past energy, the South Node ruling karma, and the lessons that we've learned and that we really need to learn, and the things that we know, the things that we have already completed that we have a good understanding of, things that we are very familiar with and comfortable with, but that really hinder us from continuing to grow, continuing to evolve, and moving down in a new direction at this point in time that is very much centered around aligning with our personal truth and our personal authenticity and the things that help to support and cultivate this as we go through this energetic transformation right now from the age of Pisces paradigm into the age of Aquarius, that is really going to be based around tapping into our unique inner resources and using those to fuel our potential and the, experiences that we have in our lives and the abundance that we create and attract and all of those things. So this is a process right now. We are in a very faded culmination period in between two eclipse windows as well, having just had the lunar eclipse alongside the full moon in Taurus and Scorpio, where Mars was in opposition to Uranus. That is also being reactivated today by the degree of the moon, and I'll talk about that. But also heading towards the solar eclipse with the new moon in Sagittarius that is coming up soon. We're just in a culmination period and more of that energy coming through today. And today, our mind is getting there as well. We had the sun move to Sagittarius earlier this week and line up with the South Node. This energy was doing the same thing, really helping us to really see and understand what we've grown from and what we're growing into and what we need to let go of in order for this process of evolution and growth to continue. And now, like I said, with Mercury coming to the same position in the sky and growing closer in conjunction to the sun as well, this is definitely we have a mental shift happening right now anyways, as Mercury has moved out of Scorpio and into Sagittarius. This is an entirely different vibe, and it's much more centered around speaking our truth and speaking our mind and talking about and expressing our beliefs about things. So there's a shift there in and of itself. But with all of this South Node activity right now, simply because of the placement of the South Node, and especially in Sagittarius, this is definitely bringing even more of a mental shift and a change in perspective, and really essentially in terms of what we are mentally attaching to going forward, and what we are coming to a point in time where we are really mentally being able to release based on new things that we're learning and new understandings. The North Node actually in Gemini right now, ruled by Mercury itself, the new things we're learning, the new understandings, the new information coming to us, the new perspectives, changing our mind and having us really reconsider the nature of the mental experiences that we want to have going forward in regards to the mind loops and the mental conditioning and the thought patterning that we maybe have experienced up until this point. So let's talk about the specific energetics that we have going on today. I want to start by talking about the position of the sun and the earth, the Sabian symbols of those degrees, so that we just sort of have an idea of the context in which all of this energy is playing out. Today we have this sun at 4 degrees of Sagittarius, the earth always in a polar opposition, 4 degrees of Gemini, still close to the north and the south node, and Mercury. Mercury is actually coming into a conjunction, and the exact conjunction will happen on Sunday. But the Sabian symbols of these degrees, or the energy described in a picture form, so that we can have a better idea of how these specific points in the zodiac tend to resonate and the frequencies that are associated with them. 4 degrees of Sagittarius is a little child learning to walk. In 4 degrees of Gemini, where the earth is today, is holly and mistletoe, reawaken old memories of Christmas. So by the position of the sun today, in the context of Mercury, our messenger planet, coming into a conjunction with the south node, and the sun still being in conjunction with the south node. And remember, Mercury is actually, by sign right now, ruling the north node. In the north node, this is our destiny. This is our evolutionary path. This is the things that we need, the experiences that we need to have, and the things that we need to learn to really help in the evolution of our soul in this lifetime. And so, this is actually by Mercury aligning with the south node, which is the polar opposition of those things. It is really like both the things that we are learning now and the mental shift that is allowing us to release things from the past based on the things that we're learning now it is for the purpose of moving us in this brand new direction that is really going to evolve us on a soul level. And with the sun today, a little child learning to walk, it's just like, it's explaining it. We're taking our first steps and learning to maneuver our new reality. And we're sort of like in a limbo right now. We're sort of caught in between two phases, where in the metaphor concerning like the young child, when you're used to being held and coddled and, you can't move for yourself. And then you're learning to stand on your own 2 feet, to use your own energy to drive yourself forward. It's like we're in that process right now, and we're taking our first steps, and we're really, experimenting with using our own force and our own power and what our own energy and what we have inside to move us forward in the context of these things that we are leaving behind, this mindset that we're leaving behind. The child is learning that they can walk on their own, where up until that point in time, their reality had been in their mindset, and, the way that they perceived everything, thought about things, was in terms of having to be moved from one place to another. And then they go through this mental shift where they learn that they can do it on their own, and they start taking the first steps, and it really changes the perception of everything. And they are able to release and let go of the need to be dependent on someone else to maneuver them wherever they want to go. It's kind of a very good metaphor for what we are really doing right now collectively. So we are learning to walk. We are learning to use our own energy to move ourselves forward and to maneuver our reality on our own without having to fall back on the things in the past that we used to have to put our faith and trust in order to help us do that. So interesting symbolism in terms of the aspects playing out today. And then the earth at holly and mistletoe, reawaken old memories of Christmas. Again, this is nostalgia, memories, reconnecting to past joys, but also how do we translate the joy of the past into the joy of the future? Because we're in this time of faded endings and culminations and completions of cycles. And it's like with this south node being emphasized by our mind and our thoughts and our ideas today, it's like, yes, we may really be in a process of, having a lot of nostalgia and, like sort of aching for the comforts and the happiness of the past, while simultaneously knowing that we can't necessarily take that exact experience with us going forward, but how can we recreate this experience moving forward, taking our steps in our new direction? And I also find it to be interesting because the first degree of Sagittarius where the sun and the earth recently moved to, and also where the south node will move to, because the south node always moves, the nodes always move backwards in the zodiac. And this is so after they're done transiting the degrees where they're at right now, where these conjunctions are taking place, the south node will also move to this degree. And that Sabian symbol is retired army. Hold on, I'm looking for it in my notes. Retired Army veterans gather to reawaken old memories. And then we have, so that was the position of the sun a couple of days ago as we started this week. That was the position of Mercury yesterday. And now we have the sun, or I mean the position of the earth today, again, talking about reawakening old memories. And, you know, it's also interesting because these are specifically old memories of Christmas. And if you remember, and I'll talk about this again in a few minutes, the north node right now, which is in Gemini, the opposition of where Mercury is conjuncting the south node right now in Sagittarius, because of the placement in Gemini, is ruled by Mercury, who's making this conjunction to the south node today. And that degree, 2 degrees of Gemini, where the north node is Santa Claus furtively filling Christmas stockings hanging by the fireplace. And so we have, you know, at the state of the earth today, holly and mistletoe reawaken old memories of Christmas. This nostalgia over these, you know, these things from the past, these traditions from the past joys, and kind of being caught up in them. But the position of the north node, ruled by Mercury, who is in that conjunction to the south node today while the earth is at that degree, is also talking about Christmas and blessings to come. Santa Claus furtively filling Christmas stockings hanging by the fireplace. This is a process that is ongoing right now. And this is talking specifically about destiny, fate, the path that we are moving down going forward. So even though on Earth today, we may be in a state, like I said, again, of this nostalgia or some sort of like bittersweet feelings about things that we have to let go of, pertaining to this Christmas theme or this gathering, or, you know, the community or the security or just the comfort. The one point in the sky that represents the direction that things are headed, the north node, ruled by the planet conjuncting the south node today, really bringing up these feelings, is specifically talking about this same experience recreated and filled full of abundance, the stockings that are being furtively filled by Santa Claus. So very interesting dual Christmas symbolism, both from the position of the earth talking about, you know, the ghosts of Christmas past, but then we have the opposition of the Mercury south node conjunction today, which is causing this nostalgic feeling. The north node, where we're headed, where we're going, talking about this coming back and being filled to the brim with abundance. So, you know, it is like this process of reflecting on the past and this bittersweet feeling, but we need to understand that we're just at an ending point in time right now, and the realignments that are happening to bring us more joy, more fulfillment, more authentic and true happiness and abundance than we've experienced before. And these feelings, these things that we're having to let go of, they will not be lost forever. They will be our stockings will be refilled in an even more fulfilling way. So some optimistic information coming through in regards to that as well, if you are experiencing some type of, you know, bittersweet, caught in between things going on today. You know, again, I wrote, we are caught in between the new experiences we are learning to navigate now and the things from the past that have represented our happiness up until this point. Now let's talk specifically about Mercury in conjunction with the South Node. I've mentioned a lot about this already, but really this is boiling down to mental shifts and release from past mental programming, thought patterns, inner dialogue, mind control, and previously held understandings of things. This little child learning to walk is such a good metaphor for this energy because, you know, when your world is having to rely on others, you know, for everything, and then you begin to realize that you have the strength and the energy and the power and, you know, the intelligence to do it yourself, it really changes your own relationship to yourself, your own power, your own resources, and your own value. And that creates a huge mental shift and allows you to let go and to release the things and the people that you may really truly have needed for support up until this point in time, but are becoming no longer necessary to your growth and your evolutionary process moving forward. You can't be carried forever or you'll never learn to walk. We can't stunt our growth just because we have loved things and needed things up until a certain point. And it's not this is not like a losing situation, even though it's a lot of loss potentially and letting things go. No one is losing in this situation because everything that is being released and let go of at this point in time is beneficial for everyone involved, even though we may not perceive it that way at this point in time, because we still are in very silver lining energy with all of this Uranus activation. We're in a new moon cycle that was exactly opposite Uranus. We are in a full moon eclipse window right now that was Mars, ruler of the Scorpio cycle, in exact opposition to Uranus. When Uranus is activating, things can be really chaotic and really difficult and really challenging and really hard to understand while they're happening. But it is the silver lining energy. It's blessing in disguise energy. And once time has passed, we 9.999 times out of 10 dealing with Uranus realize the blessing that those occurrences actually were in opening up or aligning us with an experience that is really much, much more fulfilling or better than we had before all of the craziness of the Uranus realignment, the galactic fixer coming in, the great rectifier, more better than it was before. And this energy is active all month. And yeah, it's really like a collective graduation that we're going through right now. And you could use the metaphor with the school situation too. When you graduate from high school, or just like the school system, generally, a lot of people are homeschooling now. Our paradigm is changing. But, up until this point in time, most people went through a very standardized school system, and then you get to the end of it and you graduate and you have to learn to fly and walk on your own 2 feet, and you have to let go of the things that have supported you up until this point. But it's not bad for either party involved. The school has more kids to teach coming through, and you can't be dependent on, that type of support system forever, or you will never come into your true potential and learn to stand on your own 2 feet. Again, back to the little child learning to walk. So it's just, this is what is happening. We're graduating, we are learning to walk on our own, and we just don't need the same things that we used to need anymore as we go through this maturation process, which is lining up to an energetic and vibrational shift as well that is conducting the transition of ages into the age of Aquarius, where we are in self-knowledge, self-mastery, where we are co-creating our own reality with God and universe, really using our own resources and our own minds and our own understanding of the principles in this reality and how things are created and how things work. And we are walking on our own 2 feet and doing it on our own, holding the hand of God. We don't need to be carried by the same societal structures necessarily as we're important during the age of Pisces, which was the age of schooling together and surrendering personal power to that of the overall whole, and a hierarchy that was involved in that. So there you go. A little bit of extrapolating on this, but it just is what's happening. It's just what's happening, and all the pieces are fitting together, and they all go together, and we're every day turning another page collectively in the energetic transition into the age of Aquarius. Anyways, things from the past coming up for discussion and release today for sure, with Mercury, information, news, communications, messages, thoughts, ideas relating specifically to the past, the South Node today. And again, culmination, completion, endings based on new ideas, new understandings, and things we are learning now that are expanding our awareness and helping us to shift our perspective and let go of things no longer in alignment with our truth and our authenticity. We're growing up, you guys, energetically growing up, and this is this is just the way that the transition of ages happens, and we're just in such a significant period in that right now. The Scorpio cycle has really represented a very strong and significant vibrational shift, and it is now coming to the point where that is physically manifesting in terms of what changes we are willing to make in our lives at this point in time. More fated endings based on realizations of truth. This is a powerful and significant transit, especially, like I said, with the North Node in Gemini, ruled by Mercury, and also in the conjunction to the Sun as well. Very powerful, lots of energy in this, and it's all directly related to the direction of the future and the gifts and blessings that universe is trying to bring us as we head in this direction, especially with the North Node at that degree, Santa Claus furtively filling stockings by the fireplace on Christmas. And, speaking of the degree of the North Node, the Sabian symbol of the North Node, we cannot disregard the Sabian symbol of the South Node. And the South Node right now, 2 degrees of Sagittarius, where Mercury is also today for the conjunction, is the ocean covered in white caps. This is choppy emotions, choppy feelings, like turbulent emotions, turbulent inner environment, choppy feelings and emotions, but it is leading to an opportunity to make these new memories with the Santa Claus degree going on, these new memories of Christmas that still comprise the value of the old memories, but are just on another octave of experience. And while the Earth, it's just very ironic that we have the Earth today at that degree talking about reawakening old memories of Christmas, and then simultaneously we have the North Node talking about Santa Claus filling Christmas stockings, while Mercury, ruler of the North Node right now, is opposition to the South Node. I know I'm like driving this one specific theme into the ground in this report today, but it's very ironic the way the symbolism is playing out. We are realizing the need to let go of our old memories so we can make new ones, promising to bring much greater joy, happiness, and fulfillment than we've had the opportunity to experience up until this point. Gifts and blessings are promised again, and they are coming to us. And that basically is the energy that we have, going on in terms of this Mercury South Node activation today. Also, though, another thing that I want to talk about, the position of the moon. The position of the moon is always very relevant. And today the moon is in Leo, again, emphasizing the sun. When the moon is in Leo, the Leo is the sign that's ruled by the sun. And this is talking about the position of the sun today, a little child learning to walk. So, on an emotional level today, we are really in this process of graduating and taking our first steps based on our own personal internal drives and our own energy and our own trust and faith in ourselves. And the moon in Leo, aside from just emphasizing that theme, is making a square to both Mars and Uranus today. Mars in Scorpio and Uranus in Taurus. And remember, for our full moon eclipse, Mars and Uranus were in exact opposition. So this square in Leo today to Mars and Uranus is reactivating the full moon eclipse and also these two planets in their opposition. And this could be bringing, this is more of that Mars-Uranus radical liberation energy. Shock, surprises, outbursts, impulsive actions, radical liberation from restriction, definitely being activated by the moon in Leo today. And definitely a more emotionally intense day, especially with Mercury at that degree, the ocean covered in whitecaps. The ocean, the water, is always symbolic for our emotions. And with this bittersweet nostalgia that may be coming up today, and memories of the past, and being sort of caught in between, and knowing that it's time to move on potentially, and time to graduate, it could have us feeling quite a sense of emotional turmoil bubbling under the surface of things. Today. And especially just with all of this South Node energy as well. And it seems like these things may be a consequence of the truth-based mental shifts that are underway at the moment. Like I said, it's like any types of shocks or surprises, or spontaneous impulsive reactions or outbursts of anger, and just these more intense, choppy, conflicting perhaps emotions today, I really feel like are probably a result of this place that we're in right now, in between one world and another, and the shifting mental state, the shifting energetic vibration, the shifting frequency going on within us, and just this graduation and culmination and completion process not the easiest times, not the easiest energy, but it is promising a beautiful future, gifts and abundance and blessings in alignment with our truth and authenticity once we can move forward down this new direction. So that's basically what I have for the energy for Friday. For Thursday, for Thanksgiving Day. And it's interesting too, because this is a time when families come together and everything. I imagine there will be a lot of reminiscing going on, but I also imagine with the South Node in Sag and these planets conjuncting the South Node, talking about releasing past belief systems, and the North Node in Gemini ruled by Mercury in conjunction to the South Node, while we have the Moon in Leo emphasizing the position of the Sun today too. I do think that there may be a lot of discussion going on about new truths that we've learned, new perspectives, new ideas, new mindsets, and new belief systems that we're coming to understand now, and possibly things that need to be, old past ways of feeling and thinking that we're just not really, that we're moving away from now. There could be a lot of communication, discussion for sure about things related to shifting ideologies, belief systems, perspectives, moral philosophies, and viewpoints this Thanksgiving Day with this Mercury activation in the South Node going on. So that should be interesting. Okay, so let's talk briefly about Friday. The reason I'm combining these reports is, well, one, so that I can take Thanksgiving Day off, and for two, also because Friday really is, there's not too much going on. It really is sort of like an energetic carryover from Thursday. The moon will still be in Leo. The only real difference is the placement of the moon, and of course, the Mercury will have moved out of conjunction exactly with the South Node, but is still within proximity and is just moving into closer conjunction with the Sun. So a lot of the same energy from Thursday. I mean, this whole week has been sort of bleeding into, the energy has sort of been bleeding into it, like each other of the days, because they're like planets are hitting the same. The South Node is just emphasized, and the Sagittarian themes are just emphasized. And as we move, we're heading into a Sun Mercury conjunction that's going to be happening on Sunday. So a lot of the same themes are being emphasized this week, but by different planets. And then, we pay attention to the sign of the moon as well. But like I said, for tomorrow, the moon will still be in Leo, much of the same energy octave as we had, like I said, Mercury moving into Sag and the conjunction with the Sun and all the South Node activity. And we'll still have our Leo moon going on, still referencing the Sun in proximity to Mercury and the South Node, just this culminations, endings, faded window, destined occurrences happening. We may still have, here's another thing though that I haven't mentioned, when Mercury is combust the Sun, sometimes we're missing some information. So it's like, even though we're gaining all this clarity, and we are gaining a lot of clarity, a lot of understanding, and especially now with Mercury and Sagittarius, seeing the truth, seeing things from an elevated perspective, just gaining a higher viewpoint on things, and learning a lot this cycle with all these secrets uncovered. But now, with Mercury very much combust the Sun, sometimes when that happens, we're not getting all of the information still. So we may still be missing some pieces of information about things, but we are gaining, like I said, a greater understanding of things generally, even if we still don't have all of the details. And we are still shifting mentally regardless of the combustion between Mercury and the Sun going on. And this is emphasized again also by the on Friday with the moon in Leo, like I said, ruled by the Sun and Mercury and the South Node. And the moon in Leo on Friday, the main difference is that the moon is going to be coming into an opposition with Jupiter. Jupiter ruling truth, Jupiter ruling expansion, Jupiter ruling Sagittarius, where these planets in the South Node are located right now, and Jupiter currently in Aquarius, talking about authentic, genuine truth that truly liberates us to align with our personal authenticity and self-expression. Jupiter at 25 degrees of Aquarius right now as well, a butterfly with the right wing more perfectly formed, is also speaking to a spiritual awakening, a grand collective spiritual awakening that is going on in conjunction with these things that we are releasing, these belief systems that we are releasing from the past, all working together. It's really a profound and very spiritual intervention, divine intervention is really playing a big role right now, very much in spiritual awakening energy. And more of that, like I said, with the moon coming into an opposition with Jupiter in Aquarius, ruler of the Sagittarius planets right now in the South Node, and obviously Aquarius, this is the frequency that we are heading into, that we are transitioning into right now. More of this spiritual awakening, really having a very expansive emotional alignment with truth and authenticity and what we need to release and let go of. An awakening happening on Friday in conjunction with all of these other energies, more awakening to truth on an internal emotional level and helping us to release and move on so that we can begin to attract experiences to our lives that are now aligning with us on the proper vibrational level, that can bring us into contact with the truth of our authentic potential, the resources that we have inside, the value that we hold inside, that we can then cultivate and extrapolate to represent external value in our lives. And just this whole this process, the hero's journey process, victimhood into self-mastery through this internal alchemization and this energetic shift, all of it leading us into the age of Aquarius. And with Moon and Leo coming into opposition with Jupiter in Aquarius, while we have all this South Node activation, Sun, Mercury, South Node, and Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, we're in big time spiritual awakening energy right now. And this is a very integral part of the shift of the ages, the transition into the age of Aquarius. And it's happening on Thanksgiving, and I am grateful for that. And it's happening this whole cycle, but this aspect, this activation today, is another very important part of this whole vibrational shift that we're going on right now. It cannot be understated. I didn't do the tarot cards today, honestly, because I have just been very, very busy preparing for Thanksgiving tomorrow and trying to get a lot of stuff done today, but I am going to draw a synchronicity card for us. I do have another minute. The synchronicity cards, this is really special. These are messages from God. They come through exactly what we need to hear at exactly the right moment. Doesn't matter when you're listening to this. This is just a little bit of inspiration or advice that can help us navigate the energetics today. And here's the card. Here's the message from God. It says, mind and spirit must agree. It says, and thou shalt put them in one basket. Exodus 29:3. Put your heart and your subconscious mind together. What you think and pray and believe must all agree and synchronize. Your intellectual and subconscious minds, as well as your heart, must unite. You must have joy and enthusiasm for your projects. Then you will experience health, happiness, abundance, and security. You must feel in your heart and your subconscious what you know in your conscious mind to be true. Merely verbalizing without the feeling and knowing means nothing. So this is definitely some beautiful advice and guidance that we have today in the midst of this energetic limbo that we're in right now, this transitional period, this graduation process. And this is really what we need to be focused on moving forward as we head down this path that is leading to these full stockings, these gifts in abundance, and this authentic fulfillment that is waiting for us. This is actually a lesson that we all need, that we are all going to be learning and becoming much more aware of. And it's going to be playing a much more significant role in our lives as we head towards the age of Aquarian frequencies, because this is really the process of manifestation. And this is how we get to those filled stockings. So really beautiful guidance today that can definitely help a lot of things for a lot of reasons. So beautiful message. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's what I have today. Again, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and a happy Friday. I'm going to try to get a video out for the weekend, this weekend as well. And if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and come back with me tomorrow. We have a Mercury Sun conjunction coming up in Sagittarius. It's a lot to talk about.